folks, day after Christmas, and I figured I better get this done before I don't have a kit to show you. So I hope you all had a lovely day yesterday. We certainly did here, very quiet, just the three of us. Did a lot of cooking and a lot of eating. Today did a lot of catching up and picking up and cleaning up. So I wanted to get to record this for you because our club, I think, is on the 11th, which I will release this then. And you'll see me talking to you from the day after Christmas. However, this one is called Snowflake Season, and we certainly did have a snowflake season there, mighty and fierce. I used the Serenity paper pack. I used the Thin Cuts Yuletide Borders set. I used this little piece here, and I have to tell you, this Merry Christmas is the finest and most beautiful Merry Christmas I've seen in a lot of dies. Very fine, but it cuts beautifully. I've cut it on glitter paper and regular cardstock. I've not tried it on just regular, the pattern paper, but I'm sure it will work fine because it works fine on the glitter paper and fine on the cardstock. Beautiful set. But I used the Bud one right here, and I used it over here on the side in toffee cardstock. That's that. And then I used two oldie but goodies. These are old thin cut sets that I've had. They're snowflakes, winter flurries and snowflakes. Those are the three of the ones you've got are this one, and this one. I used them about the same size. I didn't want anything too overpowering, but I have used this one on cards. Maybe some of you got the card with that one on it. These I've had out a million times. I love them. I've used them and used them and used them. I also used the stamps from this set here called Elegant Snowflakes. And while I love the stamps, because the stamps really do a beautiful job on the layout, I did get the Thin Cuts too, but the Thin Cuts cut them, the outline. They don't cut the inside like these are so intricate. These cut all the little pieces out. But this one just cuts the outlines, which is fine, but I didn't want that look on this layout, so that's why I opted not to use the Thin Cut for this, just the stamp set. So I hope you guys can, borrow from a friend or dig out your snowflakes. You'll need, I used all three of these, I think, and I used this one, and this one, and this one. I think I used them all just in, randomly. I started with my biggest ones, then went to my medium, and then filled in with the littlies. And the colors of ink I used were Sapphire, Toffee, and Bluebell. Goes beautifully with this paper pack. Beautifully. So, without further ado, I want to give you some particulars about this one. So, on this page, I started 2 inches in. Both of these sides are 2 inches in. And on both pages, in order to do your stamping, you may want to run a thin pencil line right along that 2-inch line. Both of your off-white pages, you'll want to run a pencil line on either side, just so you can get these pieces all straight and your stamping straight. How I did this was, I actually, you're going to have to find something round so you can actually put a pencil mark a little bit, just a little bit over that 2-inch line here and a little bit over, because you're not going to see it underneath here. So there's no point in stamping this whole thing. Plus you want this side free anyways. You don't want the stamping to be on this side. So I'd say run, a little half circle right to the 2-inch line that you've drawn here with a pencil. And then you're just going to start stamping, like I did a big one here, a big one here, and a big one here. That's a medium, and then the rest were small. But they're fairly tight together, and you can just alternate your colors. Like I said, I used the 3 colors, tried to split it up fairly well. And then, before I glued all this down, I used my shimmer pens. I used Golds and Bluebell. And I've shown you before, you make a little blob, and then you just kind of or you kind of squeeze. You can squeeze it too. Squeeze it on over a sheet that's there. See, I got a blob there now. So now you just go like this, and it's, see how I'm getting the little spatters. And I just kind of did that all over the background. I did not do it on this part of this one this time, but it's up to you. It's your layout, so you can do as you wish to embellish. I just like that little bit of sparkle that those shimmer brushes give, and I do love that technique to use with them. It works very well to add some interest to the background. And then you can see, I'm not sure I gave you the toffee cardstock for the back of this, but you have everything else in your kit. I'll get the kit out in a minute. The toffee goes behind here, or you don't have to, but I would definitely put something behind here. You could use Bluebell, you could use toffee, you could use another piece of the off-white there, I don't remember the name of it now, French vanilla, that's it. Behind your little wreath, this is the wreath from your sticker sheet. This is also a sticker. This is glitter paper that's in your kit. These are in your kit, these are in kit, and these are your snowflakes. Now in the center of the snowflakes, I used the Bluebell gems, the glitter gems. This little piece here is popped. This is all adhered solid down. I put this little toffee piece behind the wreath before I put it down. And then I actually ran these in first, these little twiggy things. And then I put this here. And that's probably a little over a third of the way this way, the wreath. It's not quite in the middle on this side. You can tell it's about a quarter of an inch from the edge there. You could also ink the edges of this with some sapphire ink, and it would be really pretty. I didn't think of that, but it would be nice on this wreath. And that's that gold tone on there, so it's really pretty. And then I just arranged my snowflakes, as you see here, on this side. And then I used 2 3x4s, but if you have a 4x6, that would fit there fine too. I would just kind of, like, see, this is 6 inches, so I would move it down a little or up a little so it's not like in the center. These are kind of in the center, but it's okay because it goes off here and it goes off here on the edge a little bit. So it looks okay. But anyways, that's page 1. Page 2 is a little more interesting because I gave you one of the new 8x12 flip flaps. So in order to do your background here, I used a whole circle. Again, I went in 2 inches, with my ruler and made a line. Actually, I only made a line on this side of the page. Here's your page protector. Your opening is on the top and you want your little holes on this side. So I went in 2 inches on this side of my paper because what you want to do is line your flip flap up there. So here's you can see my pencil mark, actually, it's right there underneath. So you want to kind of line this up so that it's in the center of your page. And how I did that was, I folded my edge of my flip flap over like this underneath. So the flip flap thing with the protector is underneath here. And I used my bone folder to get a good crease here because you really need it to lay flat when you're going to actually adhere it to your page. And you want to get it perfectly on that line, even, and then perfectly on the top and the bottom of your page protector. And how I did that was I put this completed page inside the protector. And then I took this page with, it doesn't have to be completed, but you do want a solid piece here so you can see where you're at. It's easier to see when you have an edge. And with the clear, you don't necessarily see the edge. So then I laid it over with this piece down underneath with the protector thing on, that little strip you're going to pull off. And I held it for dear life like this. Just down like that. And I picked up the corner over here and I kind of got that little edge out of that little piece of tape that you're going to pull off. And I kind of just moved my fingers back a little and I pulled that tape off underneath while this was still right here. So it didn't move, so I could get it on straight. And then it just pressed down and it worked perfectly. but you do want to have this back piece finished, this back page finished, and you do want to either put the blue piece in or put the finished piece in if you'd like, and lay it over like that and figure out where you want this, because I did not. Now see, mostly, a lot of times we use these on the edges or on the bottom or on the top. We don't necessarily bring them in, but because I wanted my page to look the same, you can see this mimics this one. I wanted them to look the same, so I wanted my flip flap, this part, to be on the top, so it looked like this side. And then the inside, I just randomly stamped. I'll show you about that after. So that's how you do that. So the inside pages. Now let me just get out the actual page. I'll take that out of the protector so you can see it better. All right, so there's this. Now, this one again, like you can see, I have my line there. I really need to erase it, but I left it there for you, and it's up here. See, there's my line, my 2-inch in, and I didn't do it on this side, I don't think. If I did, I erased it. I don't think I did. But then again, I went around and I made a circle with a light pencil mark, and then I just randomly stamped using those 3 colors. I went around with one color. Make sure you space them out. Actually, on this one, I did a little rock and roll. You can see the edges of that's the edges of this one is a little darker. I did my first stamping on the bluebell, and then I took my stamp and I just kind of rubbed it around rolled it around on the edges to get those darker complements there. You can see it here too. You can't see my bad stamping here, but with all this going on, you don't really even notice it. So I would say definitely use the back of your sponge on your mat to stamp when you're doing this. And again, it's here. On this one, you can see it a little bit right there where it's a little darker on the edges. So I did use rock and roll. And like I said, and again, I didn't have anything on here. I just had my stamping, and I did the splatter technique around. You can see the whole page has that splatter technique on it. Up close, you can see it better. And there's that splatter technique. And again, I just used my PML card. This is one of the little stickers right out of the pack. You can pop it. I did not. There's nothing popped on this page. This is a PML card that I fussy cut the little banners right out of. And then I just added some little, those little, I call them stars, but they really look like a little asterisk or whatever. They're gold. And I added them on the one little banner piece there. So that's this page. That goes in your protector. Just like, you know how it goes in. It goes in. So, oh, I got a little piece of something in there. Left over from, oh, that's on my mat. Probably from a snowflake. So this piece, you'll have a piece of bluebell. And I used the lighter side to stamp on. Again, randomly stamping with the 3 colors again. That's, I even used the bluebell. Tone on tone, looks good. And I used the toffee, and I used the sapphire. Some kind of white there. And then I gave you a piece of the ivory again, or the French vanilla, that you can just, it's a 12 sheet piece, so you want to trim a little off and just flag your end. I did that with scissors. Just found the middle, went up from the bottom, found the middle. I think it's 3 inches, so I think it's 1.5 inches. Let me see. Yep. So you want to find your 1.5 inch center, draw a little line up, and then you just cut in from your corners. And that's how I did that. And again, once I randomly stamped here in the background before I put anything on here, I did the little technique with the splatters. And you can see that up close a little better, maybe. I'm not sure if you can see it real well with the camera. But anyway, so that's what I did. And this was a very simple page, 2 4x6 cards, and your banner behind it. This was raised, and this is a sticker off your sticker sheet. Now, on the other side, you're just going to mimic what you did here. You're going to use your toffee, and I started from the bottom, and I used this, and then I used this, and then I used this, and then I put this over to cover. There's a little bit of a gap. You know, when you cut, you never cut perfectly straight every time, or perfectly even every time with the trimmer. So they're not right next to each other on the page, so you aren't going to notice if they're a little off, but you do want to use this to cover. And I used liquid glue when I did that. I actually put some little gems in the corner here. This is a PML card, And these are your little photo mats that you have included in your kit. So that was that side, and you saw this side. So that was it. I mean, there's a lot of stamping on this. I've really missed getting together with everyone, and I really have been missed doing stamping on our pages. We have some beautiful, beautiful stamps, and in the new catalog, I'm sure you've already seen, the stamp sets are outstanding in the catalog. The paper packs are a little bit challenging, I'm going to tell you, because you know me, I'm not one that loves baby stuff and all that, but I'll have to get through it. We'll figure it out, and I'll have something fun for you all to do. So that is that, and then when you want to put this in, of course, you're going to have this on the top. You're going to slide it in, so that's on the top, and slide it in from right here. It's a little tricky because you've got layers, so be careful when you're sliding it in, but it does slide in. It's good and tight, like you want it, so you don't want it flopping out on you. But I liked using the flip flap this way too, because you know, sometimes when you're turning the pages in your book and you have them on the edge or the top or the bottom, they flop open and you have to use a little bit of something. Here it's not going to, because it's going to be on the other page and it's going to be closed, so you can just flip it open like that. But it gave you the opportunity to use a lot of photos on this page, and I like that. I like to use flip flaps, and they're fun, and that's a new one. So that was that on that one. Alrighty, so I hope you have fun with your stamping and you enjoy getting back into our stamping, because I'm hoping sometime this year we'll get together. I'm hoping sooner rather than later, but you know, that's optimistic at this point with the vaccine and all. I won't be on the top of the list to get that because I'm healthy, and I'm happy that I'm healthy. So I hope you all are healthy and had a wonderful holiday time, and we're starting out the brand new year with serenity. We need that. Take care.